Childhood for me, I've visualised childhood here, laughter, innocence. I had quite a calm childhood, really. Really fond memories of my childhood. So I remember just lots of good times in nature, cycling, playing, doing all sorts of different things with my brothers. Good, happy times.
My childhood was difficult. I was adopted at the age of 2. And I never felt that I quite fitted in anywhere. I was angry as a child. I never quite knew why.
Childhood is different things for different people, but for me it was a stable home life. But the society of my peers was so shocking and so dreadful that I have to say my childhood was terrible. From the very earliest moments at school, I was made to feel different, not allowed to join in, ridiculed, and I lost confidence. Whatever confidence I might have had before I went to school just diminished and diminished and diminished.
I had a pretty good childhood, lots of good memories of childhood. We lived on the outskirts of Lincoln. Across the road was a BMX track, next to that was football fields. It was an old RAF camp as well, so it was like old shelters and brick buildings for us kids to mess around in. The family did break up when I was about 13, and that was a bit crazy, but in general, it was a happy time.
When I was a child, it was very hard being a child, definitely, because I didn't feel that I had the love that most children get, but I did have some really good experiences as well, which I remember with my nana, and used to have really fun times out and go to the pier and stuff like that, walks along the beach. Quite nice times with her actually.
entering adolescence was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare because my confidence, my lack of confidence just came to the fore and it just went into overdrive.
Adolescence wasn't that great, no. 13, 14, 15, 16 was terrible years for violence and drugs, and it wasn't a good time, no. Housing estate in Glasgow, it's like that.
Well, I'd come out of foster care basically. My friends were sort of like my family, so I needed my friends around me more than anything else because I didn't have much of a family. We used to go everywhere together, do some strange stuff.
I think that an addiction begins with some activity which feels like solace. It feels like solace, it takes one away from an experience which one does not like. But I think when it becomes habitual and over time, then it becomes an addiction.
I discovered substance quite early, by accident. Cough syrup. Misread the label. Meant to take 2 teaspoons, take 2 tablespoons, and that was my first experience of opiates because it was codeine linctus was what I'd been given. I always remember that feeling of floating around the living room. Weird.
After my apprenticeship, life just went crazy. My drinking went up. I got more money, so my drug taking went up. Harder drugs then, lots of amphetamine, amphetamine sneaky as well. People think it was a left drug. It's a class B drug or whatever, and it's crazy because it can really mess your mind up. You can spend up days, you don't eat, you're awake for days. You're psychotic anyway because you're on this crazy stuff that's allowing you to go at 100 miles an hour 24/7.
I had absolutely no control over drinking. It was the first thing I thought about, the only thing I thought about, 24/7. Even if I'd woken up first thing in the morning and was retching, just trying to breathe air, I wouldn't opt for a glass of water to sort of try and calm the retch. I remember the retching, and even then it wasn't water; it would be vodka.
Well, I was addicted to shopping, basically. If like I felt sad or anything like that, then I would go out and buy myself stuff, and then I'd get home and I'd think, I'll put that away, and then I'd look through my cupboard and I'd find something with a label on it that I hadn't actually worn, but I'd bought it to make myself feel better.
It comes from a party to just an awful, existence, sort of drab, on the street, usually, needing to score, you have to start stealing and stuff, so it's not good.
It wasn't fun, but I thought it was fun. It was very cunning, actually. It was very cunning, because I thought I was like having a party all the time, but actually I was really harming myself all the time. But it was very strange. It was very strange. I was really in denial. I didn't realise how much damage I was doing to myself.
Well, my life as an addict was a living hell. It was a daily struggle from awakening when not wanting to be awake, waking up with a sense of dread and fear because you've got to do it all over again. You've got to earn money, you've got to go score, you've got to get the drugs, you've got to use the drugs. And it was just constant like that. It was a living hell.
Judgment, loneliness, trauma, fear, isolation, loneliness, despair, desperate, silence, emptiness, self-destruction, haunted, invisible, desperate, pain, misery, guilt, poverty, judgment, loneliness, relapse, denial, sadness, darkness, trauma, fear, isolation, emptiness, haunted, invisible, trauma, darkness, silence, isolation, desperate, poverty, guilt, judgment, loneliness, trauma, fear, darkness, silence, isolation, sadness, emptiness, self-destruction, haunted, desperate, despair, pain, guilt, misery, poverty, denial, darkness, silence, loneliness, judgment, darkness.
I didn't actually use the word recovery until recently. This has been going on for some years, but and I see it now in retrospect as a recovery. But at the time, it was, if I'm going to try and do something valuable in my life, now that I've gotten into my 60s, for goodness sake, then I'm going to have to stop doing things which are detrimental. That was it. That was the moment of recovery.
I've got sober. I did it through fellowships and meetings, and I did it through getting in with the recovery community in Brighton, which is massive. It's like another family here, really. It is another family. My friends are like my brothers and sisters here, and we all look after each other, and that's the thing, the unity, and the love that I found in Brighton, and the Brighton people, so generous, so generous.
Really, I've sort of seen two different sides to Brighton. A very isolated, a very lonely one. When I first moved in, I didn't know anybody, and I was drinking a lot. I ended up drinking a lot by myself. But now, Brighton is just full of friends and faces that I know. I cycle down I cycle everywhere, and one of the nice things about that is I see so many people just going to work, just going down to the beach. It's a nice village.
I like Brighton because it's open-minded. People can dress up the way they want and they'll not be judged, there'll not be any... I don't see a lot of violence. I've never myself experienced any violence in this town, city, what you call it. I've never experienced none of that. I've never been attacked, mugged, threatened, even felt threatened. It's been a nice place for me to live. Big part of my life, Brighton, isn't it? Family's here, got kids here. It's a nice town.
I feel alive in Brighton. You know, I really do. I feel really alive here. I cycle to work along the seafront into Hove in the summer, and I just feel so blessed. I feel so blessed to be here. And Brighton's a beautiful place. It's an absolutely beautiful place. I'm very lucky. I don't take nothing for granted.
I think Brighton is a very good place to go through recovery for anybody, because there are a lot of institutions and studios which are to do with helping people to do something about their own self, their own life, their own quality of life. So I think Brighton is a place for healing.
a journey which has enabled me to grow as a human being, and it's enabled me to learn to love myself. It's enabled me to learn that I don't have to keep abandoning myself. It's enabled me to feel part of a community. It's enabled me to believe in myself enough to want to help other people, to want to learn, play my instrument, play the trumpet, because when I was little I played the trumpet, and then when I became 10, 11 I started getting into drinks and drugs and I stopped playing music. And I've always found liberation through dancing to music, but I've never had the confidence to play the trumpet again until I joined the recovery orchestra.
One of the main ways that I was in early recovery that I could switch off was through playing the guitar and listening to music. That was, I could, the only way I could, what do I do? What do I do? I'm used to taking drugs all the whole time. What do I do now? So and that's the only way I could switch off was to play the guitar, and that's really helped me.
I love to sing, and since being in recovery, I've had loads of opportunities to sing. I've sang with some really close friends of mine. I'm still singing now. I've done poetry and then they've turned that into singing. Singing is a big thing for me because it gets everything out.
That feeling of connection that you get through music is a massive thing that's missing when you're in deep, dark addiction. It really is. So just to have that ignited again through music is fantastic.
Playing music makes me feel good. It just makes me feel great. I get a tingle when I play it well. I get an uplifting feeling of peace, serenity. It's almost spiritual, really.
The music takes me away from me. Takes me away from me. And it's very, very therapeutic, very relaxing.
I think now, like, I've got a voice now, and I've got I basically feel more free to express myself, whereas I used to feel like I was invisible.
Past, drug use. Present, I'm relatively happy. And the future is going to get better, I think, if I keep doing what I'm doing.
I feel like I've become the master of my own mind, and I do believe that everything I think and say and do has a consequence. And when I was using, I wasn't aware of any of those consequences. everything that I do and say and think has a consequence. So the more positive thoughts, positive things that I choose to plant these positive seeds, I know that I'm going to reap a positive future.
I'm not ashamed of my past at all. I'm very proud of it because it defines who I am, the person I am. I'd be a very different person without having gone through the life I've led, and I wouldn't change it for 1 second. So I think that means I've got quite a positive future.
Someone once said to me that you get 2 lives in recovery, you get the shit one first. That's what keeps me going. Sometimes I can think I'm getting a bit too old. Now it's like my whole life's wasted it. No, you get 2 lives. I've got a second chance.
I have sadness about my past, about wasted years. That's the big thing of coming into recovery. I think many of us wish that we'd been able to get it sooner. But solace to me is helping other people stay sober.
Solace is finding comfort or some kind of strength within adversity. It's easy to find something which feels like solace if you are in difficulty. When I was using alcohol so persistently, it seemed to me as though that wasn't solace. It seemed to me as though I was finding something which would take away the ordinary unpleasant feeling which I couldn't deal with. And it would seem like the bottle of wine wasn't solace. What I seem to have found in recent years is a pathway. I don't know where it's going, but I do feel quite confident that there is a pathway there, and there is solace in having found